The controversial story behind why Islam prohibits adoption, the Prophet, Zainab, and Zaid. The history of why traditional adoption is not allowed in Islam is closely connected to an incident involving the Prophet Muhammad, his adopted son Zaid ibn Haritha, and Zainab bint Jahsh, who later became Muhammad's wife. This incident influenced Islamic teachings on adoption and lineage preservation. Here's a look at the key elements. The adoption of Zaid ibn Haritha. Zaid ibn Haritha, who was a former slave, was adopted by the Prophet Muhammad before Islam prohibited the traditional form of adoption. Muhammad loved Zaid as a son and treated him as one of his own, even declaring him Zaid ibn Muhammad, Zaid, son of Muhammad. This renaming marked Zaid as the Prophet's son by adoption, a practice that was socially accepted in pre-Islamic Arabia. Marriage of Zainab bint Jahsh and Zaid, to further abolish social distinctions between former slaves and freeborn individuals. The Prophet encouraged Zainab bint Jahsh, his cousin, to marry Zaid. However, the marriage was short-lived and ended in divorce due to personal incompatibility between Zaid and Zainab. The marriage of Muhammad to Zainab. After the divorce, Muhammad married Zainab. This marriage was controversial in its cultural context because, despite the divorce, people still saw Zaid as Muhammad's son due to the adoption, and Zainab as Muhammad's daughter-in-law. Marrying one's daughter-in-law was considered inappropriate in pre-Islamic Arab culture, even after divorce. This act led to the revelation in the Quran that abolished the concept of traditional adoption that confers biological lineage. The verse, "Nor has he made your adopted sons your true sons. That is, merely, you're saying by your mouths, but Allah says the truth." Quran 33:4 clarified that adopted sons are not to be equated with biological sons, and the adopted child would not inherit the same family status as a biological child. Abolishment of traditional adoption. This incident led to the Islamic guidance that children should not assume the name or lineage of their adoptive family. The adoption structure was replaced with kafala, guardianship, where a child is cared for as a ward rather than as a natural-born child, keeping biological lineage intact. Zaid returned to his original name, Zaid ibn Haritha. After this revelation, controversy and interpretations, critics and historians have debated the motivations and implications of this event, as it influenced significant shifts in Islamic law on adoption and marriage. While many view it as an effort to clarify lineage laws and address social norms, others argue it reflected a personal or social adjustment to fit the evolving context of Islamic law. This incident remains a point of debate for scholars and critics alike due to its impact on Islamic family structure and legal practices around adoption. The historical and religious context behind the story reflects Islam's broader focus on family lineage, inheritance, and social structure, all of which led to the rejection of traditional adoption in favor of a guardianship model through kafala. If you found this video insightful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.